Brothers and sisters, welcome back. People are dropping dead in the streets from COVID-19. Did you know that? Of course you know that. Everybody knows that. People are dropping in the streets from COVID-19 on today's news. But what do we know about Matthew 24? These are the signs, guys. These are the signs that are going to come in the last days. Yahushua said these things are going to happen in the last days before my return. In Matthew 24, there shall be scarcities of food and deadly diseases and earthquakes in places. What do you think is going to happen, guys? It's going to be all smooth sailing and then bang, it's finished? No, all these things are going to happen. This is not the end yet, though. Messiah said, no one knows, not even the angels, the time of his coming. But my Father knows. In verse 36, Messiah says, as the days of Noah, so also shall the coming of the sons of Adam be. Remembering that Yahushua was the last person left from the bloodline of Adam. Yahushua was the last person left from the bloodline of Adam. Did you realise that? Everyone else was considered unclean under the behaviour of false teaching. Being washed in the blood of Yahushua is the only way to be grafted into Yisrael, the bride and family of the Father. Being washed in the blood of Yahushua. Being washed in the blood of Yahushua is the only way to be engrafted into Yisrael. Did you know that? That's the only way into Yisrael, the bride and the family of the Father. Messiah said, for as they were in the days before the flood, eating and drinking, marrying and giving in marriage, until the day Noah entered into the ark. And they did not know until the flood came and took them all away. And they did not know until the flood came and took them all away. What about that? What do we see up there? So also shall the coming of the Son of Adam be. Does this ring true, guys? Do you believe these scriptures? I mean, or is this just a separate thing to your life? Is your life in sync with these scriptures? Because, I mean, if you believe it, you put them in you, and then when you're confronted with the situation, you draw from them, from the portal, from his word. This is how I'm going to behave, yeah? This is what I'm going to believe so I don't fall into the distress. I just recorded one a few hours ago about the distress that's coming on everybody. You don't come into it because you stand on his word. His word doesn't crumble. Everything else out there is crumbling. And that's why everybody's distressing. No matter how much preparation and insurance and lifelines they put out there into the world so they'll be okay, it's all crumbling. Even religion, well, I believe in my religion, it's crumbling. Everything's crumbling. But what doesn't crumble? His word. So just like the days of Noah, so shall the coming Son of Adam be. People today are oblivious to the truth of Torah. Who's interested in Yahusha's instructions that you know? Can you count more than 5 people? Who's interested in Yahusha's instructions? They're oblivious. It is like they are all asleep, just want to party. We want to party. Their response to Messiah is with anger, hatred, and with excuses, completely ignoring his presence in their lives. They refuse to acknowledge his ownership of this universe. They refuse to acknowledge his ownership of this universe, which is so sad and stupid. In verse 40, Messiah says, 2 will be in the field, one is taken, one is left. 2 will be grinding the mill, one is taken, one is left. Watch the signs, for you do not know what hour your master is coming. It is the most interesting thing to see what taken is in the Hebrew. It is most interesting to see what taken in the Hebrew means. What does taken mean? Taken. Maseth. Abstractly, a raising or rising of flame. Figuratively, an utterance, concretely, a beacon, raised, a present as taken, mess or tribute. Figuratively, a reproach as a burden collection, sign of fire. A sign of fire, great flame, gift, lifting up, mess, oblation, reward. There's a lot of amazing stuff in there, isn't there? That's what the word taken means. Taken is a sign of a great fire. I'd never read it like that before. Taken is a sign of a great fire. The earth will be destroyed by fire, except for those taken. The earth will be destroyed by fire except for those taken. Does that give you great hope? That's what I'm waiting for. Stuff all this virus talk. When's the world going to just shut down? When's the fire coming? That's what we want. Bring on the fire. And know this, that if the master of the house had known what hour the thief would come, he would have watched and not have left his house, his body, be broken into. He's coming as a thief in the night. So all these people that are out there eating and drinking and partying and having marriage and giving in marriage and getting all this stuff that they're doing, day-to-day stuff, what's going to happen? He's going to come as a thief in the night to those who are in darkness. For those of us who are in the light, watching, waiting, ready, putting all our hopes and expectations into this one event that we're waiting for, is he going to come as a thief? Is he going to come by surprise to us? Oh, we don't know the day or the hour, but he has revealed through his patterns and the feasts what time of the year it will be, I believe. So, if the master of the house had known what hour the thief was coming, he would have watched and not have let his house, his body, be broken into. Because of this, be ready too. For the Son of Adam is coming at an hour when you do not expect him. Our world is asleep to these words, and they mock the truth. They keep partying on, no matter if people are falling dead in the streets or not. Is this a reality to you, or are there more important things to be thinking and doing? Are your feelings and emotions and what's happening out there, the inconveniences and the calamities and distress, is that more relevant to you? It's easy to make that more relevant because it's in our faces daily. It's all people want to talk about. It's more important for toilet paper to be relevant to us, or the lack thereof, than Yahusha and what he's doing. That's why when you believe a word, that's why you've got to fill yourself with it. And when you read words, his word, you stand on it, like I was saying. Because if you believe something, you're going to be tested on it. So, do you believe all this? This is phenomenal. I just finished another video in the teaching series, and then I got off there and I saw this. So rather than add it to the end, I'm recording it separately, so you can have it straight away. There shall be scarcities of food and deadly diseases and earthquakes in places. Yahusha knows all this. Do you believe Yahusha's that intelligent? He knew all this was going to happen, and he wrote it down. He said, all this stuff's going to happen. Wars and famines. The leaders will be at each other's throats. Scarcity of food, famines, earthquakes. All this stuff's going to happen. But that's not the end. That's just the beginning of birth pains. So, what are we going to do about it? Are we going to freak out like everybody else in the world? I've said to the kids, if it gets worse and if the economy gets worse, we might end up eating beans out of a can. I mean, Yahusha's not sadistic. He's not a smart ass. He says he'll protect us. Does that mean, we're going to protect you, but you'll be starving? No, he protects us. Overall sense of peace and shalom. You're looked after in every aspect of your life. That's what he does for those who are his cherished bride. The most precious possession in the whole universe to him is his bride. Is he going to let her stumble? He says, I've got messengers out there protecting you, holding you up in case you stumble, so you don't kick your toe on a piece of rock, So all this is happening. Do you face that you're protected? He looks after us and protects us. Does your behaviour show that you believe this? Oh, I believe that. Yeah, Yahusha. Whatever. But do you believe it? Do you behave like you believe it? Because this is the most phenomenal thing that's happening in the world right now. There's been nothing like it. And it's not going to get better. I mean, this virus might piss off, but there'll be something else afterwards. It's just going to get worse and worse and worse until it gets back. So, stay strong, guys. We'll be, Chris has posted some more stuff here, look. Let's put all these other things up. Where are they? Those who are cleansed Those who are cleansed by the blood of Yahusha will be taken. Those who reject him are the great unwashed and will be destroyed. To think Yahusha was the only person on earth, everyone else was unclean. You ever thought of it like that? Yahusha was the only person on earth that was clean. The only person on earth that was clean. Everyone else was unclean. Imagine, I said this before, imagine walking around with him. Yahusha's presence on earth revealed to the Jews that they were insane for twisting the truth, twisting Torah. So they killed him. Those who are not washed in the blood of Yahusha are without the Ruach, revealing Torah. Truth must be insane, and they will be burned. Messiah says, if you reject me, I will reject you. People are dropping dead in the streets, and they will not listen. Scripture says that even in the end. They are unrepentant. They will not see the truth. They will end up going to their graves in defiance. Yahushua has cursed this earth because of the lawlessness, the lawless who refuse to behave Torah. Everything is collapsing around them. Lawlessness is sin against the words of Messiah. Not accepting his advice is actually illegal in this universe. Not accepting his advice is illegal. Yeah, you don't have a choice. Lawlessness is sin. You're disobeying Yahushua. That's what lawlessness means. You're not accepting his advice and it's actually illegal. You wonder why things don't work. Look at your behaviour. Why aren't things working? Why can't you achieve this? Why can't you achieve that? Why can't you find happiness, peace, joy, love, all these things? Look at your behaviour. See if it is unrelated to what Scripture says. Now you can see why your hardship comes. See? Can you understand that? If you have heard the name Yahusha, then you are aware his gospel is being preached throughout this world, so you better respond to him. Yahusha is going to make it obvious to everybody before he returns. You'll have a choice, yay or nay. Nobody can be left with an excuse. Yahusha rose from the dead after the Jews killed him. What a shock for them. He is alive and calling his people Yisrael. He is alive. Do you face that? He is alive. These instructions are for us to stand on, so that when these plagues, when these pestilence, when these viruses, sicknesses, earthquakes, all these global epidemics and pandemics come upon us, we can stand on what we know. And our behaviour will be obvious. We won't be freaked out. We won't be distressed like everybody else. So, I hope you've enjoyed that. That was just today, guys. Phenomenal. The whole point of putting these out there is so that you can be confident and reassured that Yahusha is in control of all this. This isn't a satanic virus. This is Yahusha. This is judgment. This is wrath. This is him shaking and waking and baking and everything in this world, so that he can get their attention. But as it says, many will not. Many will not. They'll be in defiance till the end because they're controlled. Everybody's controlled, guys. Everybody around you is controlled. You wake up in the morning facing that everybody around you in your day is controlled. Why are you taking it personally? Why are you shocked? Why is this a surprise? Yahushua says, don't be surprised. Expect it. And count it all joy. They hated me, they'll hate you. I don't like being hated. Well, you're on the wrong path then. Because this is the path of hatred. Because they hated him. Not because he was doing anything worth hating, except speaking the truth. But that's enough for people to hate you. Your behaviour and the spirit in you is what the spirit out there hates. And that's what controls everybody. So, go through these articles again if you want to. But I just found them really encouraging. I was going to read them at the end of the last video I just recorded in the green room. But I thought, no, I'll come on here live so that I can put it out there now. So it's fresh. You're getting it. It's a few hours old, guys. And it's Yahusha. It's from the portal. How's your portal warp going? No one wants to talk about the portal. That's not what they call it in Scripture. Scripture didn't call it a portal. Yeah, but it was a portal. So come into it. It's amazing. Love you guys. Stay strong. And it's great being in Yahusha, isn't it? What about the word yesterday about glee? We're supposed to come into the happiness and the joy. Rejoice. This might be the beginning of the end. It says birth pains. There's got to be a birth at the end of the birth pain, isn't there? So something's coming. Maybe it's going to be this year. Maybe trumpets this year, he'll be back. What about that? What about the end of it? Are you wanting to see other things happen first? I don't want him to come back yet because I want to experience this or do that. I want my kids to... What more important thing could you want than this? An end to it. An end to this existence in this hideous carcass flesh. You know? Well, Matthew 24 says this is the beginning of birth pains. So it's the beginning of the end, guys. So rejoice. If you can grab an odd person here or there and bring them with you to the wedding feast, great, but you can't control that. You've got to look to yourself and overcome yourself. Overcome. You know? That's where it's at, overcoming, because what's the point of looking outward to everybody else, trying to find people to bring with me, and then you didn't make it to the wedding feast yourself? Because you've got to be perfect, or this close to being perfect, to get to the wedding feast, because he can't marry someone that's not like him. Can't be unequally yoked. So the wedding feast is where it's at, guys, and he wants us all to see this. You don't have to worry about this plague. This plague's got nothing to do with you. This plague is to remind you that his word is true. And so while this tornado and whirlwind is going on around you, you take one step at a time on his word. His word says, I will protect you. I will lift you up. I will stop you from falling. I will protect you with my wings and tuck you under there and, stop you from being sick and hurt and, distressed. Everybody's sanity is hanging by a thread. And we're in the beauty industry here, in the hair industry, and, people are just insane. And they come in here and they sit down and they go, oh, I feel so much better. That's his peace. That's his peace. Not because we're telling them all about Yahusha, but because they can just feel that there's no stress here. I don't care what's going on out there, it's mad. Sit down, laugh, do your hair, and they walk out feeling like $1 million. You can be that in people's lives, just a calming influence, But don't fall into the stress, don't fall into the de-stress. Distressed, everyone's distressed. Love you guys, stay strong, see yous.